also they were saying like you hop. I don't know if they said hop, but they were doing like what did they say? I forget
Yeah,
exactly.
it's like they're touching their
Yes,
head and then
yes.
touching the beaver. It's like this to this,
This,
this to
which
this.
reminded me of one of my favorite things from the movie Face Stop. So I don't know if I got this right. So now that Netflix has officially bowed out, I guess Warner Brothers has paid him a couple billion for not going through with them.
Look, people complain that the film industry is not making the kind of movies that we want to see. You got to vote with your wallet. Welcome to Hate to See It with Mike and Sid, the talk show where we bring you a new movie review each week. I'm Mike, here with my co-host Sid. We're a small channel, so you'd really help us out by hitting that like button, hitting the subscribe button, and leaving us a comment with your feedback. Without that out of the way, how is it going, Sid?
It's going great. It's Sunday. It's beautiful out here. Good week. Looking forward to the first week of March.
Yeah, the weather's gotten quite a bit better out here too, so I'm hopeful that we are through the worst of it.
Yeah, you guys have had a brutal winter.
I am, I've got a bone to pick with Punxsutawney Phil.
Ugh, he screwed you guys.
He really did.
But you know what? This is great, Mike. We're recording when I can see the sun. So I'm excited to record during the day.
You're in better spirits this week, would you say?
Oh, yeah. I'm
I
always in
think
good spirits, but I'm re energized.
I think you were a little grumpy last week.
Yeah, I warned you. But I think for
Well,
this week, we should definitely include a parental advisory because I think the movie we watched may tend for some interesting conversations that may be unsuitable for children.
why don't try to keep it suitable for children since the movie is intended for children?
I'm only teasing. Yeah, this is a children's movie, but it shouldn't stop you from seeing this movie.
Yeah, and we'll get to that. The movie that we're talking about, which we mentioned last week, is the new Pixar movie, Hoppers. And we were fortunate to be able to see a sneak preview of it a week before it comes out. So when our review drops, and then if you're listening to this, already has dropped, you should be listening to it before the movie officially comes out. So that's pretty cool.
It is cool. I mean, that's pretty awesome because we're trying to convince people to go into theaters. Now they don't have to wait for the Rotten Tomatoes and all that good stuff. They can watch our episode and make a decision whether or not they should see Hoppers.
Definitely. We hope we can do this kind of thing more often.
Yeah, hopefully AMC, will start recognizing the content we put out. And they're like, you guys want some screenings? And they invite us to some screeners or screenings, whatever they're called. But let's see. Let's keep
That's the
it.
goal.
It is the goal. Because I think a lot of content creators have that privilege. They get to review things ahead of time for their viewers.
Oh, sure they do. And you see them post their content on YouTube, and the more traditional critics obviously still exist, put
Yep.
their reviews up online. So yeah, that'd be cool to be able to do that someday.
Yeah, I see a lot of that on TikTok.
Yep. All right. How about we do our weekly snack segment?
Let's do it. Why don't you kick it off?
Okay. I went for what I went for last week because I liked it so much. The Coke Zero Cherry Float was my new favorite. And I sent you an article about it during the week. And unfortunately, it appears to be a limited time item. So I hope maybe they change that because it is just delightful. The cherry Coke with a hint of vanilla to it. And I also saw an ad during the week, just coincidentally, for something called Pepsi Cherry and Cream. So they have their own
Mm.
competitor. That appears to actually be a permanent item. So I might have to try that out, do a little taste comparison. I've always been more of a Coke guy than a Pepsi guy, but we'll see.
Interesting. So I'm a Pepsi guy.
Yeah.
I've
Okay.
always liked Pepsi better. Wait,
And,
so
and
take a step back. When you say limited time, when you first made this purchase, was it? I thought it was outside the theater, or was it in?
yes, it was outside, and I brought it again. I just got a bottle. Oh, and that.
So,
Go ahead.
because so for me, I also had the same drink, but I got it at the AMC theater, which was exciting to see. Because when you first talked about it, I thought it was a in-store thing only. So I was really excited when I saw it as an option. Like you said, hopefully it's not a limited time. Hopefully people really like it because it hits hard. It's pretty good.
So, for people who are familiar with the soda machine that they have at AMC, it's one of these modern Coke machines where you make your selection of the general type of Coke you want. Like it could be Coke, it could be Sprite, it could be, I think they have Barks root beer, they have a cream soda, they have a few
Yep.
options.
They even have Powerade. They have iced tea. I got sweet tea once. That was good.
And then once you make that selection, then there's another menu that comes up, and you could, if you want, you can add all these different flavors, and there's a ton
Yep.
of options to it. So how does it work with the cherry Coke float?
So so it's just by random. I noticed it. It was in the top right corner.
Mhm.
Its own category. And so I was like, oh wow, this is what Mike was talking about. So I selected it. I tried it. It was good. I
Oh, I'm gonna
enjoyed it.
have that next time then.
You
That
should.
that.
You won't have to be a rebel and sneak stuff in.
So you liked it?
I did like it. Yep, it was a good
Cool,
choice. And I probably
cool,
would have never noticed it if it wasn't for you. So this podcast really helped me try something new.
nice. What'd you have to eat?
So I went back to my bread and butter, my M&M's peanut butter.
Okay, did they give it to you this time? The correct item?
Yes, they
Awesome.
didn't fuck it up this time.
That's
So
good.
I was pleased with that.
And I went with Twix, the only candy with the cookie crunch.
Twigs are really good.
I haven't had a Twix in a while. It was great.
They should bring it to the theater. Like a Twix mini is clutch. You know, it was funny. So I had a really bad experience this week going to the theater with my snacks, but it was seeing another movie. You and I may review this movie later, so I'm going to save it. But I
Okay.
almost used it for this intro. I almost like swapped them up because it
Ooh.
would have made for a funny story. But we'll save it for next time.
All right. I'm looking forward to
Hopefully.
that story then.
Yep.
Um, okay. So I have a little bit of an interesting story to tell if you're curious.
All right, let's go for it.
Um, Usually at this time of the show, we do our trailers segment. I got to the movies a little late. When I walked in, it was the end of the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer, and which I had already seen before, and that was it. I
But I
missed all
think
the.
was it a newer version? I haven't seen the new one,
I
but
believe it's the latest one
yeah.
that's been. I think so.
So that
Uh,
was my first time seeing it. I enjoyed it. But
oh,
go.
okay. We could talk about it
No, no, no.
briefly
I'm
if
just
you
saying
want.
I enjoyed the trailer.
Okay.
Looking
Yeah, I'm
forward to
looking
the
forward to
film.
that movie. We've talked about it a few
Yes.
times. So the reason I was running a little late is because I get to my car and in my parking lot, and I'm fortunate enough to have a covered spot so it doesn't get dumped with snow during these storms. But what does happen is as the snow's been melting, some of it drips down onto the windshield of my car, and it's like this like very salty, dirty snow.
But how do you know
And
it's salty? Oh,
because
because
this,
people put the salt on it.
because people
Yeah.
the salt
Okay.
the
I was gonna.
parking lot
Yeah, I was gonna say.
parking lot was salted,
Yeah.
and it leaves this like residue on my windshield that's very difficult to get off. And I like couldn't see out of my windshield. I still have to get more of it off. It's gonna be a job to get it all off, but I was able to get enough of it off so I could actually drive to the movie theater. So that's why I was running a little bit late.
Yeah. That's the worst. I was gonna say I miss. I don't miss like winters. Like there's so many challenges. Like you're trying to get somewhere, you can't see out your window. You stick your head out. No, you can't see out of your windshield. So you
Yeah.
have to stick your head out the window. Oh, not fun.
Well, I'm wearing a hat from San Diego.
Oh yeah, you are Torrey Pines.
Yep. So hey, you never know. Maybe one day.
You gotta. I mean, did your parents enjoy golfing there?
Oh yeah, they had a blast.
Nice,
Yeah,
cool.
they loved it. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. We're not doing our weekly trailers segment this week. We're replacing it with a section we've done before, a segment we've done before, and we'll occasionally do it from time to time. A news segment.
Yes, it was a newsworthy week.
Yeah. The first item
Well,
was
let me like kick off the first item because I know a lot of our viewers will want to talk about this.
sure.
It's about the Ayatollah, right? I think that's one of the things we wanted to cover today.
Well, yeah,
No, I'm kidding.
I've done
I
a
did
lot
not.
of research on this topic. No, that's funny though.
Go ahead. Sorry to cut you off.
So, well, I guess the first one to bring up would be the merger between Paramount and Warner
WB,
Brothers.
Warner
Yeah,
Brothers.
there a few days ago it was announced that um, Netflix was going to allow Paramount to start negotiations again, and those negotiations were successful, and Netflix
Wait, Netflix allowed or WB?
both of them did because Netflix had to consent to it, I believe.
Okay.
Um, and Netflix decided to bow out. So now Paramount is going to acquire Warner Brothers. Um, what's your take on this? You have any thoughts?
So I don't know if I got this right. So now that Netflix has officially bowed out, I guess Warner Brothers has paid him a couple billion for not going through with them. Is
So
that correct?
that's very interesting because it was actually part of the deal
Yep.
where Paramount agreed to cover that fee. So Paramount is paying. I think it's like $2.8 billion dollars.
which is a lot of freaking money.
Yeah, so Paramount is paying that instead of Netflix. And my guess is they just didn't want Netflix suing them, so they just agreed to pay it. Because theoretically, I guess Netflix could sue them for like interfering in
Yeah.
contractual relations or something like that. That's just my theory, but who knows?
But I really wonder at the end of the day if Netflix strategically knew this would happen, that they'd eventually lose out to Paramount. And so they kind of leverage it or they kind of use it to get $2 billion, which I think would probably have a good impact on them.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, Netflix is very rich, cash rich,
No,
but
they are, but 2 billion doesn't hurt.
yeah, I mean, they could make a lot of movies with that money, right?
Exactly. So I wonder if that was like part of the strategy in the discussions they had during this whole process. But yeah, going back into it, at first I wanted Netflix to win. I don't know why. I guess I trusted Netflix more, even though Netflix is kind of the opposite of traditional theaters. So I don't know. I don't know where to take this. I guess we'll see. It's not finalized yet. I think a lot of stuff has to happen for it to become official. As long as they continue to support the movie going experience, I'm all for it. The one thing it does create, which people are pissed about, the monopoly it may create, right? Because it looks like Paramount's going to have their hands in so many different things now.
Yeah, I think the consolidation in the entertainment industry is concerning for fans. Um, I was concerned about the Netflix acquisition because Netflix just has proven time and time again that they don't care about the theatrical model. They don't care about putting movies in wide theatrical release. And Paramount has made a commitment to that. And they've actually said that they're going to release um,
45
15,
days?
15 movies from Paramount and 15 movies from Warner Brothers every year for 45-day windows. And I think Netflix eventually they had said that they were going to commit to I don't know if it was a 45-day window, but it was like maybe a 30-day window or whatever. But I never trusted Netflix with that because their business model is streaming. Their business
Exactly,
model
right?
isn't theatrical releases.
It's the opposite. I mean, they were born to compete against the theater, right? In a sense.
Yeah. So I think I am a little bit happier with Paramount, but I honestly I would rather Warner Brothers just stay independent. I think that would be the best outcome, but
Yeah, no, that would have been the best.
that doesn't look like that's going to happen though.
No, it doesn't. But we'll see how things end up. So I'm trying to think. Paramount, what are some of their flagship movies? Do you know off the top of your head?
Sure. Mission Impossible is a big one for them.
Yep.
Uh,
I saw rumors that they're making. I think it's bullshit, but they're saying they're making another Mission Impossible. But I don't think it was.
there is a rumor. I mean, that franchise is going to come back in some form or another. Um, I would like to see Tom Cruise kind of fall back into more of a supporting role in those movies. He could be like a mentor, something
Yeah.
like that. Top Gun also.
Oh yeah,
Um,
Top Gun. Yep.
I believe Karate Kid is Paramount. Transformers, I think, is Paramount. That's if I'm correct about that. I mean, that might be their biggest franchise. And they definitely have others, but those are the ones that come to mind.
But I don't know. I mean, you name some good franchises, but I don't know if they're top echelon, right?
Yeah, right. They arguably have weaker than some of their competitors. I mean, yeah, I think Disney and Warner are the top two, and then Universal has some good ones. They have Jurassic.
Yep.
They have Fast and Furious. So I think Universal is probably a little bit above Paramount even.
Yeah. No, I would agree with that. That's why I'm curious. Like, what are they going to add to Warner Brothers?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting because Warner was always a bigger
Name.
company
Yeah.
but Paramount itself was part of a merger with what was it, Blue Sky? Or not Blue Sky. What's it called? It was another studio that actually kind of acquired Paramount but kept the Paramount name.
Name. So
And
maybe they're the ones that's really pushing this entity.
yeah, well, I think so. It's Larry Ellison's son who's in
Oh
charge.
yes. Yeah, and that name kind of leaves a sour taste in some people's mouths with
Oh,
this whole.
they did Melania, so that's one of their
Oh
IPs.
yes. Good. Maybe we'll see Batman in
Rush
the
Hour, I believe Rush Hour is under
yeah.
the Paramount umbrella. So
Like I
yeah.
said, maybe we'll get Batman in the Melania universe because of this.
All right. So how about we go on to the second news item we wanted to discuss? Why don't you go with that one, Sid?
Sure. So A-list, I'm all about it. Finally convinced you to be all about it. We love it. So, the price continues to increase, right, every year. So I feel like they got to find different ways to improve the experience of an A-lister. So what they've said is probably in a couple of months, they're going to allow A-listers to have dibs on the premier seating options at the theater. So
Yeah,
what's your take on this?
I think in premise, it's a cool idea. Um, Practically speaking, I don't know how big of an advantage it'll be. If we decide to go to see a movie sort of last minute, then it's a pretty big advantage if they still have some of those seats reserved off for us. But a lot of times, um, I book my seats like weeks in advance, and I know you do that as well.
Oh yeah, so I'm like really anal about that. Even though I have reminders on the app, like remind me when tickets go on sale. Usually they'll go on sale like a couple minutes, couple hours before that reminder. So I'm always like scrolling and refreshing the app. So as soon as they become available, I can book my seat. So yeah, it wouldn't really help me per se unless it's last minute, like you're saying. And the other thing is I'm kind of like weird with my seat selection. I have different preferences as I've gotten older. So
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure my seat won't be considered part of like the premier seat because usually I think people want to be in the middle or something, right?
Yeah.
I like to be in the corner seat. I like to be in a corner seat. I don't want someone. I want to have as least people next to me as possible. And the corner gives me more space. I can leave easier. Like it's a preference thing. It's a convenience thing.
I sat in the corner seat when I went to see Wuthering Heights.
Was that by design?
Yeah, because I did want to do because I got there early, and I did want to be able just to do a little people watching, see like who was entering the theater, like
Yeah.
what kind of crowd we were going to get. And yeah, I will, like you said, I wanted to be able to kind of like duck out real quick, which I
Yeah,
did.
so which I like. I don't want to wait. I don't want to be stuck with other people. Even though in the airline, I don't like the corner. I like the. I guess it's the corner. I like the window seat, not the aisle. So this
Hmm.
is an aisle seat without the window. I guess is it? I
Yeah.
don't know. But yeah, so my seat I don't think will be part of the premier package, but I think it's a good benefit. I think it
Yeah.
might be beneficial for other people. Like you said, they gotta provide more reasons why this is a good deal because every couple of years I feel like they're gonna keep increasing this cost.
So just sorry to put you on the spot here, but it just occurred to me. Anything you could think of off the top of your head that would be like a nice benefit that they could add
It's
to
a
the package?
good question. Let's see. Nice benefit. Um,
Yeah.
oh,
Well,
I guess I don't know if this could work or not, but I think I'd probably pick the same seat every single time, right?
hmm
So it'd be awesome if you could just like when I went to book a ticket, it just knew what seat I wanted.
That'd be
Like
cool.
like if
Yeah.
it didn't have to ask me.
If it just default to your seat when yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be a nice little perk.
And the other thing is I've talked about this before. I got really pissed about it during my other movie that I saw this week. Because sometimes I go, they don't ask for an ID. Because with the A list, it says like ask for ID right on it because they don't want people using another person's A list membership,
Right.
which is
I
kind of
never get asked
bullshit.
for ID at my theater.
Ugh, which is kind of bullshit. Like you have to give your phone to another person. Like who in the bright mind is allowing someone to use their phone, right?
But couldn't you theoretically email the ticket? Because I think one of the options is when you download the ticket is you can email it to send it to an email address.
So
Not
then
sure about that, but maybe.
maybe, yeah, I
Maybe they
guess
don't.
maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm pretty sure like the ticket like it's going to be in your app, right? It's your on your app or it's on your what's
Oh, the
your Apple
wallet.
Wallet, the
Yeah, that's
wallet,
where
right?
I put it. I always put it
Yeah,
in my wallet.
I put in my wallet. So like if you could email it, great. But like again, I'm not giving someone my phone so they can go use my membership. But what I'm trying to say is it's kind of stupid. So I was really excited about this. They switched away from like just the ID option. You can now add a picture on your profile.
Right.
So you add the picture. So I assumed when they scan your ticket, they would see the picture on their app, on their phone. So I thought that was the whole purpose of it. Like literally, they scan your ticket, a picture of you pops up on their phone. They look at you, they go, "Oh, this is Sid," and they let you in.
Hmm.
But no, what it is they want you to actually open the app and then go to the app, find the picture, and show it to them,
Yeah.
which is kind of stupid. So like, why? I mean, I could just take out my fucking excuse my language. I could take out my ID at that point, right?
Right.
So what's the point of doing the picture? So like that'll be a benefit. They've already taken it one step. Go another step. Have it sync up with their device that they use to scan.
Yeah. Another benefit just occurred to, I mean, that's a good idea. Another benefit, a couple things that occurred to me. I think there should be more discounts for concessions for A-listers. I would like to see the discounts that we get for soda and popcorn, extend that to candy. I mean,
Yeah.
the half price candy would be great.
Oh, that'd be awesome. I
Yeah.
did see, speaking of this, I did see that they're gonna what is this, 10% companion? I'm on the app right now, but I did see they're gonna, you know how you accrue points on the app when you buy snacks and stuff?
Yeah.
They're saying the points are gonna occur faster now as well,
Yeah. And the
which would
thing
be
is,
good.
when I was on their middle tier, I think the
Yeah.
premier tier, I used to get so many points because I was paying for tickets every week. But
Mm,
now that you don't get any points for
no,
A-list because you're not actually paying money for the tickets. You know
correct.
what they should do?
But
They should give you points every month for your subscription, your $27 that you
mm,
pay. They should give you points for that every
or
month.
is it, or the more movies you see, the more points you get.
Yeah, there should be rewards programs like that. I also think it might be a cool idea, and I don't know how many people would benefit from this, but it would be cool if you could roll over a certain amount of your movies to the next month if you haven't used up all your movies for the month.
That'd be good. And the other thing that really bugs me is because you can see 4 movies a week.
Yeah,
For
it's a
each be
lot. I mean,
three.
yeah.
No, but this is the problem. If you have 4 movies booked in the next 2 months, that counts as your 4 movies,
Oh.
which is kind of stupid in my opinion.
So you could really only book 4 movies at a time.
Yes, unless I'm
Okay.
wrong, which is kind of annoying.
Yeah, they should fix that for sure.
100%. I mean, I think they got to fix that because
Yes.
usually what happens is when I go to the theater and movie starts, at that time I literally while I'm at to watch a movie, I'll go reserve the next movie.
Another thing that I just thought, and this might ruffle some feathers, this might piss people off, but what if exclusive to A-listers, they told you the exact start time of the movie? So you didn't
Mm,
have there was never any question how long the trailers were going to be.
that'd be awesome.
Yeah. I mean, these are some good ideas. I hope AFC is listening to us.
Yep, we're watching us.
Yeah. All
Cool.
right.
Good. That's a great question, Mike.
Yeah, that was fun. All right, let's get into the discussion of our movie of the week, Hoppers.
Yes, let's get into it.
All right, Pixar's Hoppers. As we mentioned earlier, we were able to see a sneak preview of this movie at AMC, so we're bringing the review to you guys a couple days before the movie comes out. Sid, do you want to go over what this movie's all about, or do you want me to do it?
I can go over it really quick. I think you and I were discussing we don't want to give it to go too plot heavy moving forward. We'll see
Yeah.
how that goes. The other thing which is interesting seeing it early is there's no bias because a lot of times like when I go see a movie like the Rotten Tomatoes are out. So sometimes I don't know about you, but sometimes like I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to love this movie. It got 90%. Or if it's really bad one, I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to hate it. And that can make it like difficult, especially with what we're trying to do. So it was nice going into a movie kind of blind,
Yeah, definitely.
with no biases, no expectations. But basically, it's about this. I guess she's a teenager when the movie starts. This girl who's kind of like an outcast, a rebel per se. So she's going against a lot of people at school. She's trying to save animals in her school. She gets in trouble for trying to save the animals that are in the classrooms. And then eventually her mom drops her off at her grandma's. And her grandma notices right away, like this girl's a rebel. And it kind of reminds her of herself because she used to be sort of a rebel back in the day as well. So she basically gives her granddaughter, a lesson like, sometimes I forget exactly what she says, but she basically says like, you can't always fight. And she takes her out to like, I guess it was the backyard by the water. And she's like, this is how I stay peaceful per se. So they sit together on this rock. They just are quiet and they observe all the beauty and all the nature out there, like all the animals, right? Am I doing this correct? Is that
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
how?
yeah, that's essentially it. The grandma takes her to this nearby forest glade. And they sit on this rock and look out at the pond where there's all these animals, and the beavers have built a dam, and it helps calm her down. And she grows up visiting that place many times with her grandma.
And she does say something. I forget what did she. I forget what she says. I wish I wrote it down. I was gonna make a joke. It was kind of like the last movie we saw where the dying mother. What was the movie? How to Make a Million? How to Make a Killing?
How to make a killing.
Yeah, but that kind of quote again, like puts her in his path.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was either, unfortunately. I
But
think we
what she
should
says
carry
is
on
like,
though.
yeah, what she says basically is like sometimes you gotta just take a deep breath and breathe it all in. Like just observe your surroundings.
Yeah.
So she grows up a huge animal activist and lover. And then really the premise of the story is her enemy is, I guess, a mayor who's
Yes.
played by Jon Hamm.
Which I
So,
did not know the whole movie.
oh, you really?
I didn't know until I got home.
Oh, wow, that's interesting.
So I'm trying to think of what his voice sounded like. I never recognized his voice. Was he doing a voice or did it sound like him? I don't even know.
Good point. So I knew it was him, and I
Yeah.
could tell it was him, but it looks like he was doing something a little bit different. He didn't want to make it obvious that it was Jon Hamm because I mean, usually Jon Hamm's a lovable character, right? People love him, so I think he had to kind of change it up because this character was supposed to be like, because Jon Hamm in Man, what was he? You would describe him as a charming, right? He was,
Charming for sure. Yeah.
yeah. So I guess he was trying to go the uncharming route.
Yeah.
But anyway, the real premise behind the story is this guy's trying to be reelected, and in order to do that, he wants to build this highway, which will take over this land. What you call it? What was it? What's the
They
real
call it
talk?
a forest glade in the
This
movie.
forest glade, which is devastating for this main character because they'll basically get rid of her memories she had with her grandmother that passed away.
Yeah, and displace all these animals.
Yes,
Yeah, so that's the setup for the movie. And at the for most of the movie, she's I think 19 years old. She's a university student studying. I forget if they say exactly what she's studying, but studying something in, environmental related. And one of her professors is working on this like secret technology, which she discovers early on in the movie, which allows a human's, I guess, mind to be transported into this very realistic looking beaver so that the beaver can interact with the other animals and can actually communicate with them, understand them. And there's a very funny scene early on in the movie where the professor and um,
colleague.
her colleagues are trying to explain the technology, and it's like kind of hard to explain what it is. And finally, they just say, "It's like Avatar."
That was good, but also they were saying like you hop. I don't know if they said hop, but they were doing like what did they say? I forget
Yeah,
exactly.
it's like they're touching their
Yes,
head and then
yes.
touching the beaver. It's like this to this,
This,
this to
which
this.
reminded me of one of my favorite things from the movie Face Stuff. It was like face off, face off. So that's the vibes I was getting from that scene. So I really
Yeah,
love that scene.
it was a funny scene.
But
And it
before
is like Avatar.
it is like Avatar, yeah. But before that, I think maybe I'm wrong, but I think she was trying. Basically, someone tells her that all the animals have left this area, which enables the mayor and the government folks to build this highway, right?
Right.
So then, what she learns, I forget who tells her this, but basically, they're like, if you can bring a beaver back here, it's going to change everything.
Her
Like all
professor tells her that.
the
Yeah.
professor. But was this before the hopping? I feel
Yeah, that was right before the hopping. Yeah, that was
so.
right.
Yeah, so right before. So what she tries to do is go back to this area and try to lure a beaver to the land. And then finally, she passes out. Nothing's happening, but finally, a beaver comes there, observes like the food she's laid out there. But
Hmm.
then the beaver like starts going away, so she starts chasing the beaver, and then the beaver, from her impression, gets captured. And then she goes back and she follows the beaver. Eventually, this is where she uncovers the whole hopping technology.
Right. And uh, that's exactly what the premise of the movie is. And she discovers that she befriends a beaver named George, right?
Yes.
Whose voice sounded familiar to me. I didn't know who it was the whole movie, and it's apparently Bobby Moynihan from SNL alum.
I forget. I know the name, but I'll have to look him up.
Yeah,
This movie, I think, I don't know. I gotta check. I haven't checked the casting. Was there?
I looked it up. There's some pretty interesting casting
Really?
choices in this movie.
I couldn't really tell like by the voices. There wasn't like anything like, oh, this is definitely this person.
Yeah, that was like the only one like I sort of recognized. I'll give you a couple other interesting ones. You remember the Insect Queen?
Yes.
That's Meryl Streep.
Oh, really? Interesting.
And then the son, who becomes the Insect King,
Yeah.
is Dave Franco.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, I can see that now.
and I'm trying to think. Those are the other ones I remember.
Who's the seagull? Was it like who's the flying king or queen, whatever it was? I feel like that person was potentially like not Morgan Freeman. Who's the guy from the movie you Steve and I were talking about? You, Steve, and I, Matrix, Morpheus.
Oh, I don't think Lawrence Fishburne was on
No,
the. I don't think so.
like one of the voices kind of sounded like him.
Yeah, there was a couple other, maybe a couple other recognizable voices, like in terms of names, but I don't recall them off the top of my head. Like
But
the main
going back,
character, yeah.
you're right. Like this is kind of like Avatar because in Avatar, the person, the military person, gets into an avatar and then is all about like saving like the avatars, right? Goes
We're
against
saving
the
like the indigenous population, right?
yes,
In this case, it's the animals, right? In
yeah,
Avatar, it's the Navi people. It's actually
the,
very the premise is Avatar. That's probably the easiest way to explain it to people.
yep,
The tone is very different from Avatar.
it is.
So uh I mean, I guess we haven't really mentioned it. I thought this movie was hilarious. I thought it was a very funny movie. Would you agree with that?
It was funny and also kind of like touching.
It was heartwarming as
It
well.
was, especially the end. Like I really got emotionally attached to a lot of these animals.
Yeah, I think George was a great character.
Yeah, no, George was.
Um, so I had heard earlier in the week or saw it on X or something that there's a scene from the movie that was being featured in the commercials that had gone sort of viral, which we talked about months ago because it was in the trailer and it was kind of what made me interested in this movie. It's the scene where the mayor Jerry is getting into his car, and
Hmm.
George, one of the beavers, and then the main character's name is Mabel, and she's inhabiting a beaver like avatar
Yes.
most of the movie. They're in the car, and at this point of the movie, this is not really a spoiler because this is set up in the trailers. The there's a pivotal scene in the movie where there's a council meeting of the heads of all of the various types of animals. There's like an insect king, a bird king, a mammal king, etc. And Mabel is trying to convince them that they need to work together because uh, Jerry is placing these, I forget if we mentioned this, placing these fake trees with these speakers on them that have a high frequency that only animals can hear that is making them clear the habitat so that he can build the highway through it. And she convinces them that they need to work together to stop this. And the insect queen takes from this that they need they say squish.
Squish, squish. Yes.
Squish Jerry, meaning they need to kill
Kill.
Jerry. So this scene in the car, it gets in his car, and Mabel and George are trying to warn Jerry, and they can't talk, so they have
No.
to like she uses Jerry's smartphone to do and does text to speech to like try to warn him, and the scene is hilarious because like just imagine if this happened to you, you'd be absolutely terrified if some
Yep.
animals were talking to you. And the tone is also kind of threatening because she's like, just do what I say and nothing bad will happen to you.
Exactly.
It comes across like that like they're threatening him, and it's so funny. A lot of the movie, the humor in this movie is my type of humor. It's kind of like a dark humor, I would say.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And going back to that trailer, I agree. That's what really hooked me to seeing this movie. But like during the whole movie experience, this doesn't happen till like probably like towards like the back third of the movie, right? It takes a while, maybe a little bit earlier. It takes a while to get to this scene.
Yes. And so I saw there was an interview with Andrew Stanton. I don't know if you know who that is. He
No.
directed Finding Nemo. He was one of the original Pixar employees. He co-wrote the original Toy Story. And he has more of like an executive role now at Pixar. And he was reviewing like the original storyboards for the movie when they were making this movie. And they showed him this scene. And he says, this scene has to be in the movie. So it's just a hilarious scene. Um,
It's
if if
yeah, it's a
you
great scene.
if you're not hooked, if you're not sold on this movie yet, look up the trailers and find this scene. And I think it sold me. I think it'll probably sell a lot of people on this movie.
Yeah, it's and a lot of times you see something in a trailer, but when then you see it live, it doesn't hit as hard. But this hit as hard.
It's even funnier because you have
It
the full
is
context of what's
ex-
going on.
exactly. Well,
Yeah.
it was also really funny to me because there's a wrestler in AEW, Japanese wrestler, who maybe it's part of storyline, but he doesn't speak a lot of English. So when he communicates backstage, he uses that iPhone app as well. So they always have funny segments like that with that.
Yeah. Were there any like other like I mean, there's so many funny moments in this movie. Were there any other funny moments that stick out to you? I mean, I guess we're gonna get into light spoilers. But I don't think it would necessarily ruin
I'm
the
gonna go back to the
experience.
squishing part. Can we talk about that, even though it's a
Sure.
spoiler?
Yeah, sure.
So this kind of actually shocked me, and it shocked the audience as well. I don't know about yourself and your
Oh,
audience.
well, I think I know what you're gonna say. Yeah.
So during this council, the main actress or the main character, she accidentally kills, she squishes the queen of the.
Who I didn't know at the time, but was voiced by Meryl Streep.
So she basically squishes Meryl Streep, but it was such a shocking thing. Is this an anime? What would you consider this?
I
Not
think it's
anime. It's animated. What's like
Yeah,
the
it's
genre?
animated. It's CGI
So,
animated.
so you've seen more animated films than I have, but I think traditionally they don't kill off characters in
Well,
animated films.
that's one of the funny things in this movie is, I mean, there are many Disney movies where animals die. I mean, in the original Bambi, right?
Oh yeah,
The Lion King, but it's always like a tragedy when the animals die. In this movie, one of the themes of the movie is that
one of
it's
the laws. What was it called? It was
they
the
call it
pond laws.
pond rules, right?
Pond rules. Yep.
That you're just allowed to eat animals. Like apex predators are allowed to eat animals that
Yep.
are beneath them in the food chain. And I think the message is that it's just this is part of the circle of life. This is, smaller animals are food for bigger animals, and they treat it in more of kind of a humorous fashion than other Disney movies where it's like kind of a tragedy when an animal dies. Like there's like a grizzly bear that'll just eat like a beaver or something, and it'll just
Yep.
be like, yeah, nothing happened. And it's pretty. It happens a few times in the movie, those kind of things, and it's just kind of
And
funny.
it's funny. Yep.
Yeah, just animals
But
getting eaten.
so she goes. I forget why she claps, but she claps, and the second she does, she kills the queen. And then it was hysterical. It was shocking.
And she's wiping her hands on the
Oh yeah,
wall.
on the
There's like the
wall.
bug goo, and it's getting.
Yep.
It was so funny.
Yeah, no, that was definitely one of the better scenes I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, and
Which starts the whole villain arc.
yeah, then her son, who I mentioned, who's a caterpillar, then becomes a butterfly, um, voiced by Dave Franco, becomes the next like insect king, and he's
Yep.
like, I guess, the main villain or one of the main villains for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, he's the one that's really pushing the squishing agenda.
Yeah. So I don't necessarily want to go into the full plot.
No,
Do you? I mean, there's so many funny scenes in the movie. I think it's playing off of some horror movies. I think it was parodying, and there's definitely a Jaws reference in the movie for our friends.
was that what you were referencing in the chat with Steve? That there's a
Yeah.
scene you would like?
Yeah, because that's right. During the second half of this movie, the animals are now trying to kill Mayor Jerry, squish him,
Yep.
and the birds like fly into the water. They pick up a giant white shark, which is hilarious. Seeing this flying great white
Yes.
shark, which is hilariously named Diane, and as
It's the apex
it's
predator.
flying through the air, the music is undeniably like Jaws theme music parody,
Yeah, no, that
right?
was a great scene. That was a good action
Yeah,
sequence.
it was so funny.
Because that's after where they basically do the whole scene in the car with the voice translation, right?
Yeah,
The voice of text. So it's still like happening. The shark is chasing them. They're still trying to text Jerry, telling him what to do, and Jerry's freaking out. And then Jerry's like, "Wait, this is a dream." So like he passes.
yes.
So she starts drawing cards. No, it was really well done.
And I think they might have also been parodying the birds. I've never seen the birds, but like just like the way the birds were swarming and like going after Jerry reminded me of that movie. Another funny thing from earlier in the movie that I forgot to mention was there's a scene where when Mabel first meets George, who's like king of the mammals, and
Yep,
he's standing across this tall mound, and all the animals are like, gathered around him. Like, so I, instantly think of The Lion King. Looks very much like the opening scene to the Lion King. So I thought they were gonna riff off of that more, and at that point they did not. So I was like, oh, that's a sort of a missed opportunity. They could have done some Lion King jokes there. But then later on, when she's getting to know George a little better, he gives like his life story, and it's like the Lion King. Like he
it
has
is like
like an
yeah.
uncle who like killed his father and stuff. So it was pretty, and he had to like he went into exile and had to come back. So that was pretty funny.
Who played George?
That was Bobby Moynihan.
Okay. Oh, that's
Yeah,
right. I'm
yeah,
looking up right now.
yeah,
Oh, yes, that guy's yeah.
yeah,
He does a lot of funny stuff. I don't know if he's still around in SNL.
yeah. And there's some touching stuff between him and Mabel in that movie. I mean, when he finds out that Mabel is not a real beaver, like that's
Yep.
kind of heartbreaking.
Oh, it is heartbreaking
And he's like
because
so disappointed.
the whole thing with George is he trusts everybody, right? And he's got a line throughout the film, like like yeah, you got to trust people. Like if the dam breaks, trust is like the dam breaking, like you patch it up or something. I forget exactly what he says, but yeah, like it basically he trusted Mabel, even though Mabel told him like you should always trust everyone, like that's a weakness. And then it basically, in a sense, tragically backfires at that point because he put in all the trust in there.
Yeah, and
It was sad.
it was sad. And towards the end of the movie, there's some really funny sequences with I forget the character's name, but the king of the insects, Dave Franco's character, uses the Hopper technology to inhabit a robot, a human
Of Jerry.
robot of Jerry. And oh my God, there are so many there are so many funny sequences with that.
Now, what's your opinion on this? When you see an animated film, do you think it helps the experience or may hurt the experience to know the cast beforehand?
I think in this case, in with this movie, not knowing, I think kind of helped not knowing who all the voices were.
It helped, but also like if I knew it was Franco, I think maybe I'd have enjoyed it more because now I could picture like him, even though he's not acting as the animated thing. Like I can now see why he was the perfect casting for this role.
Yeah, I don't know. I could see both arguments, but I think it almost kind of made it like I'm not like wasting time thinking about like, oh, whose voice is that? I'm just like
Yeah, no
enjoying the
point. You're
movie.
just enjoying it. Yeah,
Yeah, I thought the voice work was really good in this movie.
it was, and I looked it up. I'm pretty sure this is accurate. So where did it go? The swan. What was the thing I was talking about earlier? Oh yeah,
Oh,
The Bird King, which is a goose. So
oh yes, yes.
that's when I thought it was the guy from Matrix, but it was not. It was actually someone who passed away recently, Isaiah Whitlock Jr. Great actor. He was in the show The Wire.
Oh, okay.
Sadly passed away, but yeah, I guess this is one of his last roles then.
Oh, wow. Yeah, the goose was a good character too. Um, what was your theater like? Was your theater sold out?
So I want to talk about that. So it's weird. I felt weird going into a movie at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on the weekend because that's like the opposite of what I try to do. I try to
Right.
save my weekend times. I try not to go during the weekend. If I do go, it's a Sunday night when it's not packed. But it's packed with a lot of kids. I'm by myself. I'm like,
Yeah.
look, it's 1 o'clock. It's kind of weird. I got my mustache going right now. I'm like, I don't know. It was packed to answer your question.
Yeah, so mine was packed as well, and I reserved when I first heard about this sneak preview, I mentioned it to you, and I reserved my seat, and I totally forgot about it. It was like weeks ago, and I forgot that I had reserved like my when I want like the best seat, my best seat is it's D9. It's like a middle row, middle seat, and I get there towards the end of the trailers, and it was already mostly filled up, and I'm sitting right in between two families, the one on my left and one on my right. On my right was like a grandma and like three kids, and I could not believe this. I don't think I've ever seen this happen in a movie theater. At the beginning of the movie, right when the movie started, the grandma answered a phone call and actually had like a 30-second conversation. Like she wasn't not
Really?
even like it wasn't even like, hey, I can't talk right now. I'm in a movie, and then hangs up. It was she had a
Oh wow.
conversation. I was like, what? So I was like, oh no, this is not going to be good. And I was concerned at this point that because there was a lot of kids, I was concerned there was going to be a lot of talking and stuff. But for the most part, it was okay after that. Um, a little warning, I think, to parents if you're going to take your kids to this movie. The movie has nothing controversial whatsoever. I think it's a very wholesome movie that's going to be great for most kids. I think for little kids, like real little kids, could be frightening. There's some, I think, frightening
You think?
moments. I think so. There was a kid that was crying at one part during the movie. Um,
Which scene? What?
when the
Yeah.
grizzly bear is first introduced, and like almost eats one of the beavers.
Oh yeah.
And it gets very loud at that scene, and it jumps out. It could almost give some people like a jump scare, that part of the movie. There are like a few moments like that where I think it could be a little bit frightening. It's like like you know,
But not overly
older kids,
frightening.
not overly frightening. I think you kind of have to, if you're a parent, you kind of have to know your kid. But that would be the only thing. That would be the only caveat I would say in that regard. Otherwise, I think the kids in my audience were really enjoying the movie. There were two little girls in my row who were on their feet the whole time. They were just
What?
like
On their feet?
they were standing and just totally captivated by the movie, like
Hey,
jumping up and
people
down.
weren't pissed?
Well, first of all, I mean, we have stadium seating, right?
Yeah, but you shouldn't be standing up.
Why would that bother anyone?
I mean, it's a seat. Sit down.
The person behind them could not even see them. I mean, they weren't blind in anyone's way.
Yeah, but if I was sitting in that role, like they're in my peripheral vision, right? I'm just seeing this
It
kid
didn't
jump.
bother me. Yeah.
I might have thrown my popcorn, though I didn't have any popcorn. But what I was going to say, so I commented this during our last animated film. I don't know if you've noticed this too, but it seems like with animated film, maybe I'm wrong. People bring blankets. Like I saw so many people with blankets watching this film,
I didn't even notice that.
and
Interesting.
it kind of annoyed me the first time. What was the movie we saw, the animated film, which we
Zootopia 2.
same thing too. People brought a shit ton of like blankets. I mean, it's warm out, but I don't know. Maybe like family movies, you it's just a thing you do. Like you gather with your family, everyone's huddled up in a blanket. So maybe that's why they're doing it. Who knows? But yeah, next time if you see an animated film, keep an eye out. Let me know if that happens in your theater.
I will. One other thing I wanted to mention about just the overall theater experience. I saw my movie on a Dolby Cinema screen,
So did I. Yes.
and I've seen quite a few movies on Dolby Cinema recently, but some of them I've noticed like they didn't do anything. Like it should have just been on a standard screen. The movie didn't even fill up the whole screen. There were actually black bars on the top, bottom, and sides. And there was it was clearly not mastered for Dolby Cinema, so I don't even know why. But
Yeah,
this
I was upset about that too, Mike. So
for this movie?
yeah, so
Oh, okay.
I had booked, like you said, a while back, and I know what the Dolby Cinema theater is at this, or the number is for this theater.
Yeah.
So I had forgotten because I don't know why on the app it doesn't say if you've booked a Dolby Cinema film. I think it would on the ticket. Maybe I can't see it. But anyway, once I get there, I'm like, Theater 4, wait, that's Dolby Cinema. I'm like, oh, this will be great, I guess. Yeah, I mean, it's animated, maybe we'll take really advantage of it, maybe the sound and stuff. But yeah, I really didn't get the whole Dolby Cinema experience from this film.
Okay, so I was actually going to go in the other direction. I thought it was very good, at least compared to some of the movies that I've seen recently. What I found interesting was it does not use the full screen, but it uses the full height. So I wanted to look into this, um, and I just forgot to. I wonder if the movie's actually intended for IMAX because the movie has a lot of height to it, and
Mm.
it's not super wide though. And it actually, because the Dolby Cinema screen is bigger. It's a big screen. It's bigger than a normal screen. It actually felt like I was watching an IMAX movie with the height.
I
And
can see that.
and so I enjoyed that.
And
And the movie looks great on the
no, it
screen.
does look great, but like usually Dolby Cinema, the sound is even louder too, right?
Yeah,
But I didn't
I
really
thought
notice
it
that.
was loud.
Really?
Actually I think that's what was bothering some of the little kids. It gets
Mm.
quite loud at certain points of the movie.
Because I know some Dolby Cinemas they take it to the extreme. Like there, it's like too loud.
Yeah,
Uh,
it can be. Yeah, for sure. Um, Anything else you want to add about this movie?
I think people need to go see this film. Quite honestly, I know we'll give our reviews in a second, but like, don't be turned off that this is an animated film. I know generally I wasn't a big animated film viewer in theaters, but I thoroughly enjoyed
Yeah,
watching this.
I totally agree, Sid. Just to add to that, the movie I think has some really nice messages to it. I think one of the key ones is obviously just like an environmental message, how important it is to protect the environment. Um, which is just a great message. I mean, a lot of movies have done that for kids, but I think this is a one to add to the list. And also, I think a nice message of cooperation.
Yes, I was just going to say that.
There's a scene in the movie toward the end where Mabel and Jerry have to work together to save people.
Yep.
And Jerry says something like once we do this together, I'm still building this highway, right?
He does say
And
that.
they still work together to accomplish their goal, and they save a bunch of people, which I think is a nice message that shows even if someone disagrees with you on a lot of things, there's still an opportunity to work together with them on something that you both agree on.
It was a very timely message. I think they did it
Yeah.
on purpose because of the environment we're living in right now. I think they want to kind of have like an impact on these children by having this movie. Again, like you can have people that you're mortal enemies with, you disagree with, but sometimes in life you got to cooperate and work together.
Um, there's another funny scene that just occurred to me because I was gonna say, even though I guess Jerry is maybe the secondary villain or primary villain, depending on your perspective in the movie,
It changes.
it changes. He actually is a pretty sympathetic character in a lot of ways, and one of the ways is um, he takes care of his elderly mother who lives with him.
Yeah.
And do you remember there's this scene at the end of the movie where the robot Jerry is on a stage speaking to this crowd of people, and Mabel confronts him, and Jerry says to Mabel, "You killed my mother."
Yes.
And he's because the Jerry is this is the Dave Franco caterpillar character,
Yep.
and he's referring to when Mabel squished
The
the insect
insect
queen.
queen.
But to everyone else, it sounds like Mabel killed like Jerry's elderly mother. And they actually show a brief scene of the
The
mother
mother.
watching it on television.
Yep.
She's like horrified.
And it's a big deal because they show in the movie that he lives with his mother,
Right,
that he
right.
takes care of his mother.
That was another one of the
Yeah,
absolute funniest moments of the movie.
yeah. No, there's a lot of funny moments.
So, yeah, I think we have spoiled some of these moments in the movie. I think they're gonna hit no matter what. You can summarize a joke, and it's much different than actually experiencing it. But maybe I'll put like a little spoiler wording in the movie. So
Let's
why
take
don't
this
we?
home.
Yeah, why don't we take it home and render our verdict?
Sure, I'll go first. So I truly love to see this film. It's the second animated film we saw this year. I think it was this year, but I really enjoyed it, Mike. A lot of movies, when you leave, you don't feel touched or impacted. I feel like this movie had an impact on me. Like I was just very emotional, especially with the final scene of watching this movie. The message hit hard. It just I got a lot I was not expecting I would get by watching this film. So I'd give it 4 stars in our whatever that app is called. What is it?
Letterboxed.
Letterbox. 4 stars. You truly love to see it. Highly recommend it. If I see this later on streaming, I'll definitely rewatch it, see the things I've missed. But yeah, it was an A+ movie in my opinion. Let's hear
Yeah,
from you.
I'm going to agree with you. It's a truly love to see it for me as well. I think this is so far my favorite movie of the year. Now the year is early. There are definitely going to be movies that top this movie. My other movie that I really liked this year, because we've seen some duds, but my other
Yes.
favorite movie of the year was the Will Arnett movie. Is This Thing On?
Oh yeah, that was one.
Very different movies. You can't really compare them, but
No,
in terms of a score, I think I might even put this one higher. I don't remember what I gave is this thing on, but this one I'm going to go a little higher than you. I'm going to give it 4.5 stars. I thought
wow.
this was a return to form for Pixar because I think Pixar hasn't been really good in the past few years. The last Pixar movie I really liked came out during the pandemic. It was called Soul. I don't know if you've seen that one.
I have not.
I recommend that if you have not seen it. But there's been some duds, I think, the past few years, and this was really a return to form. I think this is a true general audience movie. It's got something for everyone. I think a lot of the jokes are definitely going to go over kids' heads. But what's interesting about a lot of times when animated movies have those kind of jokes that go over kids' heads, it's kind of like innuendo that
Mm.
is like almost inappropriate for children. This movie doesn't have that at all.
No, they don't have that.
So the movie is totally appropriate for children. I don't think any parents are going to find anything remotely objectionable about this movie, which is really refreshing to see. Just the little caveat I mentioned earlier might be frightening for very young children, but I think parents need to use their best judgment in that regard.
But
And
I'll say this: they did. Sorry to interrupt. They didn't have any like scary animals. They all look kind of friendly, right? There's
they
no like
do, they
wolves.
do, yeah. The
Yeah,
movie's getting for 5, 6, 7 year olds. The movie's gonna be
yeah.
perfectly fine for, I think. And And like I mentioned earlier, I think the movie has some really nice, just universal messages
It
about the
does.
importance of protecting the environment, the importance of cooperating with people who might not have the same point of view as you.
Yep.
Just really good stuff that you really like to see.
You truly love to
Disney,
see it.
you truly love to see Disney and Pixar, making movies for kids like this that really can be enjoyed by all audiences.
And I don't want to compare because Zootopia 2 was great. I think I enjoyed this movie more, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I mean, you also gave Zootopia 2 a truly love to see it.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot as well. I gave that one just a love to see it. And this actually, because I had mentioned to you the reason I was only giving it a love to see is because I remembered the first Zootopia
Yes.
being funnier.
Yep.
This
I
movie
remember
was
seeing that.
hilarious.
It was.
This is what I was looking for from Zootopia
Yeah.
2. It was just so funny.
It was funny.
So yeah, that's our verdict on Hopper's and it was really fun to talk about with you.
I'm trying to do the hop on, whatever that thing was.
Oh, I thought you were trying to tell me something about like we're running out of time or something, but we're good.
Go see it, folks.
Yeah, definitely go. I really hope this like does well. I hope it goes viral because I don't think it's projected to do like huge numbers, but this is the exact like look, people. People complain that the film industry is not making the kind of movies that we want to see. You got to vote with your wallet. Like if you want like great entertainment, you got to go see these kind of movies in theaters if you want more movies like this. And I think once the word gets out, I think people are gonna want to see movies like this.
Beautifully said, Mike. Great job.
Okay, do we know what we're doing next week? I think we've kind of
So I think we're going to review Crime 101. I've already seen it. I saw it this week before I saw Hopper. I really wish you would see the movie I'm really looking forward to. It's one of my most anticipated films of the year, being The Bride. Is it The Bride or Here Comes the Bride?
The
Something
Bride.
like The Bride.
The movie just gives me the creeps whenever I see that trailer.
Ugh.
I don't think I could do it, man.
But I love Christian Bale, so I'll let you know if I liked it. But yeah, I think Crime 101.
All right, so that one came out a few weeks ago. And did not do well at the box office, but apparently is a pretty good movie. Don't spoil it for me though. So I'm gonna check that out, and we'll talk
Sounds
about
good.
it next time.
Thank you for tuning in. Like Mike said, subscribe and like.
All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.